Welcome back to Gotcha Interact. Today we're going to be talking about the 4-star lineup for the banners that are coming out. Now Rift, let's jump into looking at Sethos, looking at the new character first and foremost, and we'll talk about the other two. So looking at Sethos, what are you kind of hoping for and seeing out of him? How excited are you? I know especially with new 4-stars, you're pretty excited to maybe possibly get him.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm most excited for Sethos this coming patch. So I can't wait to get him and play around with him. But we do know just from the live stream, and we have talked about his kit before, he is what looks like a charged attack bow DPS. And I know that's not going to be for everyone. Like if you don't like Tighnari, Ganyu, Linny playstyle, then hey, you don't like it. And that's totally fair. I mean, it's a different playstyle. It's kind of unique. So in that regard, you may not like Sethos because I think that's what he's going to be like essentially. But I, for one, actually really do like those playstyles. I use my Tighnari a lot, not just because he's a good character, but I like the playstyle. I don't have Linny and I don't have Ganyu, but I have always enjoyed playing their trials. They are characters I would be okay with having. I use my Kujosara a lot. Farazan has some charge attack stuff for her skill and her buff. I'm just very excited to get my hands on a new 4-star, right? But he actually looks really fun to play. And I'm hoping that he actually does well too. I mean, the last new 4-star DPS we had was Gaming, I believe, and I think most people were actually pleasantly surprised with his potential and his damage. Like for a 4-star, he was actually competing closely to other 5-star DPSs, which I think is kind of insane. Now, granted, if you throw in things like Xianyun, Farina, but even without characters like that, he can hit pretty hard. So looking at Sethos, I'm pretty excited to see how well he can do. I'm definitely going to be building him up, and I just can't wait to play around with him.
Right, I mean, I definitely think that Sethos is going to be a cool, fun character. I think some people are going to actually enjoy to play with. But looking at the other characters on the banner, at least, we have two other Pyro characters for our 4-stars. Bennett, who is obviously just mainly used for his healing, as well as a lot of it's from that buff that he gives to attack. And then Thoma as well, who I know, at least for Rift especially, loves to use him in Burgeon teams. And I know a lot of people, that's where he started to shine, especially with Dendro teams starting to come out, building him a lot on a certain set as well that started to come out in Sumeru. So talking about Thoma next, I think this is pretty good actually, especially right now because of the Abyss. Now we did an Abyss roundup not too long ago talking about what teams were kind of good for the certain Abyss that's around right now. And right now, looking at Hyperbloom and Burgeon being our best teams, and even Burgeon probably being the best reaction right now to be around, Thoma's going to do extremely well, so I think people that are going after Clorinde or going after Alhaitham are going to be extremely happy with getting a Thoma, or at least even more constellations on him, so that they can hopefully do a little bit more with him. So I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited about releasing a little bit more on Thoma as well, considering, you know, I think it's been a little while since we've gotten a banner on him. Looking at Bennett though, Bennett's more of a recent character. I don't know about you, Rift, but I'm pretty sure he came recently, so what are your thoughts on him a little bit? It's a little weird to see him so early again.
No, yeah, for sure. We did just have him on a recent banner where we thought maybe we would get a rerun for Chevreuse, and we didn't get her there. And now the scenario here is we get Bennett again, and it's like, guys, where's Kaveh? Are we gonna forget about that? What's going on, Hoyo? Like, hello? Because Kaveh, I don't think has had even one rerun since his initial release in Sumeru, which is kind of crazy. So like when you see people that actually have Kaveh, they either were there for that banner, or even if you're newer than that, with like Fontaine, that means you had to have gotten him from a random 4-star drop, either on the weapon banner, the standard banner, or even the limited banner. So it's just kind of crazy because it's just been too long. He's basically the Eula of the 4-stars at this point, because it's been over a year since his last time being on a banner, which is his only time being on a banner. So he better be coming around soon, because if he's not in 4.8 now, I think everyone's just about to start rioting.
I definitely think so. I think in general, a lot of people are not very happy with Kaveh because, like you said, he hasn't had a rerun yet. So I think a lot of people are wondering where he's at. I know in general, though, looking at this specific banner, though, kind of jumping back onto looking at the banner, you know, Clorinde's probably going to be a great character that a lot of people are kind of wanting. And specifically looking at the types of teams she could be using, I think a lot of people want to use her with like a Nahida team and try to do some sort of like, you know, quicken into an aggravate team that can try to focus a little bit more on aggravate. So I don't know, at least here it seems like it's a little difficult with these 4-stars to maybe get exactly what you would want out of that team, considering maybe like someone like Yao Yao would have been a better choice here or something like that. But at least for Clorinde, I know, she could also be going heavily into, just straight up electro damage, and maybe even trying to do just that as a reaction, just going full into the electro, kind of like what Raiden does. So, that kind of does help to have someone like Bennett on the team to just buff her attack. And she does scale off of only attack. She doesn't have anything in her kit that bases off of elemental mastery, so you kind of would need Nahida anyways. So I think these 4 stars are nice enough to have, but I think the biggest help is actually looking at it on the side of more or less an Alhaitham side of things. I know especially Thoma would, because of obviously, like we were talking about before, Burgeon. So if you throw a Xingqiu with an Alhaitham and then throw Thoma in the team, the Burgeon will be extremely easy, and that should help a little bit more with the Abyss that's coming around right now. So at least for right now, it seems like these characters kind of make sense, but like we were talking about, it's a little weird that Kaveh's not here, and especially with the connection that Alhaitham and Kaveh have, a lot of people were kind of hoping that Alhaitham and Kaveh would be on the same banner together as well, and that was kind of a high hope. And so, yeah, we have no clue what MiHoYo's doing right now, and I think a lot of people are making videos about this and talking about it because they are extremely confused where and what happened to Kaveh. So I guess we'll find out in the future.
Yeah, no, it's just surprising. Like, I honestly thought, surely Kaveh has to be on this one, right? He wasn't on the last one. He wasn't on the one before that. Surely he has to. Because like you just said, Alhaitham is on the banner, and that would only make sense, right? But no, apparently Alhaitham still has the key to the dorm, and he hasn't given it to Kaveh yet. So he needs to be on the banner in 4.8, so maybe he will. And, there were recent talks about Emily. We did actually get her drip marketing recently, so maybe they will have reason to put him on that banner.
I think jumping onto that, that's a very good point. I think that's where, if anything, Kaveh will be going, because it made some sense to kind of put him with Alhaitham because of the connection they have story-wise. But if we're talking about team-wise, both of these characters, Alhaitham and Kaveh, are on field. And so it's a little bit kind of difficult to kind of see how that's actually going to be useful. So maybe with some sort of burn bloom team of some sort, Burgeon, maybe Kaveh can, work with Emily, being an on-fielder. And we think at least Emily could possibly be a burn because of the set that's already out right now. So maybe that could be kind of the idea here. We're not really sure, but maybe we'll see Kaveh in the next version, hopefully, like Rift was talking about. If not, I think not a lot of people are going to be very happy. So I think right now a lot of people are expecting that. But the 4 stars on this banner do look pretty good, and they do look like they're going to be interesting to actually have. Bennett's going to be good for Clorinde, and it seems like, Thoma and Alhaitham are going to have that kind of good comp to go into the Abyss right now. So, and then obviously getting a new 4-star character is always nice.
Yeah, and speaking of Emily, we will be covering her in a future video sometime in this coming week, so you can be looking forward to that, because I did not expect to get her drip marketing like we did over the past day, and so that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, finally we have a 100% design what Emily looks like, because previously we were kind of being thrown around 200 different designs, like, oh guys, this is what Emily's gonna look like. It's like, okay, which one, guys? And now we have it, so that's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to talk about her in just the future, so that'll be very fun. I personally am excited to play around with Sethos this version, so I don't know what you guys are excited for. Let's know in the comments what you guys are looking forward to.
Well, that's everything we have for this video. If you guys are looking forward to any 4 stars like Rift just was talking about, go ahead and let us know down in the comments. And if you guys are outraged about Kaveh not being here, also go ahead and let us know. And if you did like the content, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out more content that we have already on the channel as well, talking about some previous stuff that might help you for the upcoming patches. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.